such anger that is out there in the general public in our country at this time. The simple truth of families and businesses and ordinary people are saying to me is this government are grinding this country to a halt, and get them out. The Rural Independent Group have raised in the Dáil the crisis with the cost of fuel, Minister, well before the Ukrainian war, and with a broad smile on your faces you heap carbon tax on the innocent, good, hard-working people of Ireland. Even after yesterday's pathetic decrease, fuel is over €2 a litre, and for every €2 of petrol bought, your hungry government tax takes over €1. For every €2 of diesel bought, you take 98 cents of greedy tax, one way or another. Since this government took office, carbon tax has jumped from €26 per tonne to 41.50, something Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Greens, Sinn Féin, Labour and Social Democrats supported at the time. And the next jump on carbon tax will take it up to 48.50 as you continue to destroy our economy. You, as Minister for the Environment and RT, should keep talking about your dreams of renewables, knowing full well you are mocking the public out there, as the real renewables we need are at least between 10 and 20 years away. The problem is, Minister, me and others agree with these renewables, but as they are not here now or anywhere near here in the foreseeable future, we stay on course with reality while ye continue to dream. It's not long ago I put a great proposal from a West Cork company of a floating LNG terminal in Cork Harbour on your table. This was to give us a continuous supply of energy until other measures come in place, but you refused to work with the company, a decision which has cost this country dearly, and in my view is a decision that will come back to bite you in the leg. It is because of these shocking decisions you are making with the aid of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael that the people of Ireland are severely suffering over the last few months. The question I want to ask you, Minister, today was the 20% deduction in the public transport fares you announced in your first mini-budget a couple of weeks ago was, I presume, something you would have pushed for. And of course, if we had a public transport in rural Ireland, it would be welcome. This 20% decrease will aid those on the Dart in Dublin, those on the train in Dublin, and those who have a Lewis in Dublin. It also aids those who travel with Bus Éireann, but most of the people in rural Ireland totally depends on private bus operators. I will pick one private operator, West Cork Connect. He runs the best bus available service in West Cork, from Skibbereen, Clonakilty, Bandon, Inishan to Cork and back several times a day, and from Bantry, Drumalig, Dunmanway, Ballineen to Cork and back on the other side. He has invested hundreds of thousands of euros, and you and this government are doing all you can to put him out of business, as he is not eligible for this 20% decrease to pass on to his customers. The same as GoBus and Aircoach. They too can't get the 20%. So they must try and compete with crippling fuel costs and compete with a fully subsidised Bus Éireann, even that the private operator is providing a service that this state can't provide. And your government have done everything you can to destroy what they have built. Transport comes under your brief, Minister. Can you answer me here today? Are you going to give this 20% decrease to the private operators, who serve mainly rural Ireland routes, who are encouraging our youth and elderly to use these services? Or was this farcical 20% decrease only intended for mainly Dublin people?
Minister.
Deputy, the switch to this renewable local fuels future is going to have to be accelerated. I accept that. But it is here. As we speak, I just checked my phone there because just to get the latest up-to-minute figures. As we speak, at this moment in time, we're using about 5,500 megawatts of power, typical amount, all those lights, the heating and so on, the electricity systems we have. About 3,500 of that is coming from wind at this present time. Wind, particularly in the west, the northwest, southwest, round Cork, southwest Cork. And that we can actually use. We can actually start planning that, where we start storing it, where we start sharing it, switching it, turning things on and off so we use it in an efficient way as part of the solution. And we will have to accelerate that. But our country will be rich and prosperous on the back of that. We will never be safe or secure or wealthy by giving our money off to distant countries, distant regimes that we don't agree with. So let's work together to deliver that more quickly. It's not just in electricity, we will also have to do it in transport. And I agree with you, and we've debated here and talked at length about the need for better rural bus services. I think the Connecting Ireland bus plan we have is the most radical, probably the most important public transport project we have. And I'd love to work with you in terms of how we run a bus service from Lowertown out to Goleen and back to Scull and Skibbereen and every town and parish along the route. And yes, I agree with you that private operators are also going to be critical. It won't just be Bus Éireann or public bus services. And those companies have done a remarkable job, particularly during the COVID period. And we stood with them during the COVID period. I met them at various stages. And when they asked for support, we said yes. Michael McGrath, at every turn, when he went to them and said, we need more money, their fares are down, their numbers are down, we need to keep them running, even through these difficult times when the passengers weren't there. And we did provide that support, and they continue to provide that service. They are also part of our public transport service. And we've continued that. Even though their masks are off, schools are back, return to work, we're continuing to provide COVID support for the private bus operators, and did it deliberately for a variety of reasons, one of them being this, that we recognise we can't provide the 20% reduction as easily or as quickly or as immediately for those private operators in the way we do for public transport companies. And it's for a simple reason. It's no lack of regard or respect for those companies and the work they do, but we don't control or set or manage or monitor or operate their fare system at all. What someone pays, the cash payment that goes between the driver and the customer and those, is nothing to do with the public service. We've no control or no management system to put the sort of change you'd like to see in place. But we will continue to work and look to give every support we can to them, because they are a vital part. Part of what we do, responding by Mr Putin by saying we will not use your fossil fuels, is we switch to public transport, private operators included.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Collins.
Thank you, Minister, for your reply. But your reply alarms me on so many fronts, as your department are anti-rural, as you refuse to give this 20% decrease to rural bus operators to pass on to their customers. But also I have worries on other fronts. In addition to the plight of our fishermen, farmers and the state of our health sector, I have been consistently raising the issue of security of national energy supply over the last few years here in the Oireachtas. Tragically, all of the dangers I have raised and warned you, Minister, about have come to fruition. For example, we are now paying through the nose for our oil, gas as well as our power. Despite my best efforts, the government has refused to address my concerns. As an elected member of the Dáil, I must act on behalf of the constituents in the best interest of the Irish nation. Minister Ryan, you need to act in the nation's interest, not in the Green Party's interest. At this point, I wish to point out that I have asked you, the Minister here, numerous times over the last few years about the officially commissioned report on security of energy supply. May I ask you here today, where is this report and why is it over a year late? We are now in an unprecedented crisis, Minister, and it seems, Minister, you are not able to take decisions around the national gas supply due to party politics. And you talk about connecting Ireland. 350,000 every company is going to get this time. I think in Cork County we can only deliver 2, not new services, just services that are there already. So these people need a 20% decrease. Are you going to give it? Or are you going to refuse it to rural Ireland and keep it for the capital? That's where the carbon tax is going of this country. It's to you, the state Dublin, the people of the capital, but not to the people of rural Ireland. What? I'm talking not to you, Minister. I'm talking to the Minister there. I'm well able to talk to me. I don't need any lecture from you. I'm talking to the Minister.
Please.
I'm talking to the Minister, not you. Please, you're talking out of place.
Can everyone calm down?
Talk to the chair here.
Please.
I can make my point without any interference from you, because I didn't speak to you. Thank you.
Please.
I didn't interfere with you.
Please. Now, Minister.
Deputy Collins, we were neighbours for many years here down in LH 2000, and I'm sure you had the same experience with me. Do you remember the first day you walked through the gates of Leinster House? You're just tingle up your spine. It's a kind of, and I think we all share something that in our constitutional democratic republic, that when you're elected to TD for a constituency, you represent all the people of Cork South West. I represent all the people of Dublin Bay South, regardless who they vote for. Be they vote for Chris Andrews or for Ivana or whoever, I think when we're elected TDs, we do have that tradition that we represent all the people. And I think in government, if I was giving advice to anyone in government, and I think everyone really gets this anyway, that if you're elected for government, you're not just thinking about everyone in your constituency, you're thinking about every constituency across the country. You act and serve, we all act and serve in the national interest, to try our best, to do our best for all our people. That's the republic that's what the proclamation tells us. That report on energy security, we need to conclude quickly now. One of the complications is we have a lot of interest in Cork, as an example, which are looking to see that there's the potential to convert the huge wind energy we have offshore to hydrogen.
Thank you,
in
Minister.
Cork Harbour, in Whiddy, in Bantry Bay. And yes, that's complicated to understand. Is that the right investment? Or what else do we need? We will have to conclude that quickly.
Time is up.
But we'll do it in a way that gives security and looks after the best interests of our people.
Thank you very much, Minister.